Yes! And we are live.
Juhu!
Najprej lepo pozdravljeni, bom začela v slovenščini. Na današnjem webinarju z našo gostjo Leonie Gabriello. Eventnika zdaj v tem kriznem času nudi podporo vsem organizatorjem dogodkom in tudi drugim, da lahko iz tega časa odnesem največ. Ampak danes sem jaz povabila eno posebno gostjo, ki je tujka, tako da bo celotni webinar potekal v angleškem jeziku. So now switching to English. So today's topic, it will be about money. So a lot of people lost their jobs, which also means that they don't have income as they had it before the COVID-19. But that's not true for everyone. So some people or some businesses, they just flourish in these times. And I want to know what's the secret. And I know someone who is flourishing during this time, and that is my friend Leonie Gabriella. So I invited her today to share us her secret. How is she manifesting even in this time of crisis? And I just want to say a few words about Leonie first. So she's my dear friend, and she's a world-traveling entrepreneur. She's also a really passionate coach, and she made some amazing programs with great, really amazing names, like Epic Love Academy, right? Manifesting Epic Love Academy, right? And Best Year Ever program, Abundant Passionpreneur, and the one that I love the most, Money Making Queen. So Leonie, say hi.
Hello, ladies. And men. I don't know who's here, but I'm so excited to be here live with you all. I think we have a slight delay here, and my man just started writing me here in the middle of our communication, so I'm just going to switch him off. Okay, done. Really stoked to be chatting with you. You know, I am so excited about sharing with you. I think that for all of us, it's such a challenging, can be, period that we're in right now. We're experiencing things that we never have before. There's so many things that are just drastically different that haven't occurred, like borders closing, not being able to open your business anymore. This hasn't happened since, like, I don't know what, the Cold War or something. This is crazy situations, that none of us could expect. And so I'm really excited to chat a little bit with you about how to actually take this period and not see it so much as a challenge, but really see it as an opening into even greater possibilities, and seeing it as a reason, not an obstacle, to manifesting money. So I'm really, really excited about that. And that's it. I want you all to know it's a little bit new for me, because usually when I'm live, I see the chat right away in the webinar, but I really would love to hear from you as well. So please share with me in the chat, where are you at right now? What are you experiencing? You know, do you have a running business? Are you still making money? What is this like for you? I would love to hear. And also in general, throughout this whole conversation, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, so that I can be here to serve you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here today with us on this webinar. And yeah, today we're going to upgrade a little bit our mindset about money, so that we are more able to receive abundance into our lives. But I would first like to start with your story, because I know that you haven't always been so abundant. So how did you make that shift, like from, you know, not having enough money or like barely surviving to having abundance in every area?
Right. Okay, so first of all, I am really grateful to be where I'm at right now. I have had literally thousands of students go through my online trainings. I am well into the multiple six-figure mark right now with my business, which I'm really grateful for. I'm really having a lot of fun with all of that. So that's awesome. And yeah, it absolutely did not start out this way for me. So it's a whole long story. I grew up in a family that was doing quite well. Like my dad, he had a solid income. He built a business all the way up from the ground. However, when I started myself of wanting to be financially independent, I had so many struggles. I was kind of rebelling to the way he did business. I had this idea that doing business means you have to rip people off, or somehow you need to be dishonest and not really do amazing work for people. So I had all of these limiting beliefs around money. I remember, because I used to live in Switzerland at some time, I was protesting outside of the banks against the bad money system and how wrong it was and how it was never going to allow me to be creative. And even though I started making my own money after I was 21 years old, I was completely financially independent. I had moved to Switzerland, I started working as a nanny, and I was able to pay for myself. Once I really wanted to start doing things in my own business, and I think that's a lot of people who are present here today have that as well. You know, you want to create something of your own. That's what I wanted to do. I was so struggling. I literally didn't know how to bring the money in. And I started getting some financial support again from my dad. And at first I was like, oh, well, that's not really such a big deal, right? It's fine. I'm just getting supported a little bit here. No big deal. However, I completely realized my money mindset about receiving money for myself, there were so many blockages there. I just didn't know how to do that. And there was this one specific moment where I was in Thailand with my partner, Clement. He's Slovenian. That's why I live in Slovenia right now. And I'm sitting in this apartment. We rented this cheap place in Thailand. We were traveling there. And I was really the kind of girl who would be like, I hope I have enough money when I'm in the shop. And I would just give people my credit card and be like, I hope it's going to be okay. So I literally put my head in the sand, and I completely neglected my finances. So desperately trying to kind of think abundant, like it's all going to be okay. But when it really came down to it, never feeling comfortable charging my worth, never feeling comfortable to really, start my business fully and share it with people, and always having this feeling that there never was enough money in the world. Then I'm sitting in this apartment, it's a sweaty evening, and all of a sudden I get a phone call. And it is an automated phone message that comes from my bank. And I'm sitting there and I'm picking up the phone and I'm listening, and it says something along the lines of, you really seriously need to check your bank account right now. We've been trying to contact you, and you are a minus in your account to the degree that if you don't fix it right now, you're going to get a very serious fine, and we will have debt collectors sent over to your registered address. So in that moment, I was like, oh, shit. And I still was kind of like, okay, I guess maybe, I don't know, maybe it's not that bad. I'll check. Okay, I'll log in. I'll see what's going on. And I logged into my bank account and I'm like, oh, fuck, this is real. Like, this is actually happening. So I'm calling my dad. Didn't pick up. There's a time difference. And this is something I had to resolve within a couple hours, right? So I was like, shit, shall I contact my brother? I felt so ashamed to do that. I really wanted to prove to him that I was able to make money in my business. But I wrote him a message and he said, no, sorry, I'm not available right now, or something like that. So I'm like, okay, call my dad again. Called a couple times. Finally, he picks up. And he wires me the money and he says, Leonie, just one thing. He said, this is the last euro I'm ever giving to you. And in that moment, I was like, oh, shit. I was really grateful that I fixed it. But I also felt just so ashamed of not being able to support myself and not being able to take care of myself. And so in that moment, something shifted for me. And I really hit a rock bottom of just I never want to live my life that way anymore. And in that moment, I committed myself to working on myself, to working on my mindset, to finding out all the strategy that I needed in order to live in financial abundance. So I went to a bunch of seminars. I did a bunch of things. And on one of them, I actually saw Eventnika. I remember that. I went once to the Millionaire Mind Intensive. I went. But there was a lot of stuff before that. I started learning so much about strategy and about how to do all the things like the online marketing and how to sell your ebook and about how to build an online course and all those things. And I learned pretty much everything that you can learn about running a successful business. There was just one problem. I still wasn't making any money. So I was like, how the hell is this possible? Like, I've done all the work by now. Why is the cash not flowing in? And that is when I went to a specific seminar. And in that seminar, they said, or somebody said, in the seminar, somebody said to me, they said, Leonie, you've got it all wrong. 80% of your success is not your strategy. It's your mindset. 20% is the strategy. And when I heard that, I was like, come on, really? Are you serious?
Okay, so let me just repeat that. Like, so 80% of your success is your mindset, and only 20% is your strategy.
100%. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So when I first heard that, I was like, okay, got it. I didn't like the answer, but it did put me onto something. You know, it did give me some clues as to what to focus on and what to look for. So that's when I really started reading a lot about money mindset. I started reading books like Millionaire Mind. I started reading books like Money, a Love Story. And I really started to shift and rewire the beliefs that I had about money. And I did a lot of work at this point, and I was really excited, was really pumped up, and my boyfriend was reading a visualization manual at the time. And I figured, you know what? I really started to believe, I think it really is happening in the mind. So I started to just play around with manifestation and with visualizing money. So it's a specific visualization technique where basically you pick a number that you intuitively feel excited to manifest, and you focus on that. So I did that. So I grabbed a piece of paper, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do it the mindset manifestation way, and I want to manifest 12,873 euros. I was like, didn't know why. That's just a number that really excites me. So I wrote it on the piece of paper, and I started visualizing. So I started visualizing every day. I started doing my money mindset work, started journaling, was reading books. Every day I was tuning into that number. And if I had limiting beliefs coming up, like, it's not possible. Nobody is ever going to want to buy that much from you. How are you ever going to do that? I would just drop that and use quotes like, you are your mind, you have a mind, but you're not your mind. And I would continuously rewire my mind so that I believed that I could make this happen. And all of a sudden, one morning after visualizing, I had this inspired action. There was this one friend, she was a tantric teacher. And so like female sensuality, sexuality, all of that. And I had this really weird idea. I said, what if I would contact her and we would combine tantric embodiment and femininity with online marketing? And at first I was like, this is wild. This is kind of crazy. She's probably going to say no. But I thought, what if we would make an online course, like teaching women these skills, and while you're building your business, staying connected to your femininity? And I was like, this sounds kind of crazy, but let's give it a try. So I contact her and I tell her my idea, and I'm anxiously awaiting for her reply. And she writes me the next day and she says, oh my God, Leonie, I had literally described an exact program like this 2 years ago. She says, I have a whole document in which I have exactly listed out what needs to happen, including the name of the program. She said, but I just never came around to doing it. I always felt like there was going to be some other person coming in that I could do this with. I'm down. When are we beginning? So that was like, awesome. So cool. I'm so happy I followed my intuition. And so then literally we started working on that together. We came to a really cool agreement. She already had a really big following. We launched the program, and guess how much I ended up making?
12,873 euros.
Well, almost. I made 12,000. By the way, you're good with numbers. Good on you for remembering. So I made 12,860 euros. So There was 13 euros missing. I didn't mind. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It's so close. And I was totally celebrating. This was my share of what I earned with the project. Then 3 days later, something happened. We had to recalculate because we were working with dollars and euros. So there was a conversion difference. And I got an extra 13 euros on my bank. So I made 12,873 euros exactly.
Exactly as you visualized it.
Exactly as I visualized it. So what does this say? Does that mean that you need to visualize 12,873 euros? No. But does it mean that there is so much more possible than we think, and that our subconscious brain really can help us find possibilities and really can help us create opportunities if we're open for it? Yes. So once this happened, I was convinced. I was like, this is the way to do it. There is nothing else I'm ever going to be doing again. And the whole process, there was definitely work. There was a lot of work that needed to be done, but it was fun. So, and the only time I would take action was if it came from inspiration. So I'd visualize every morning and only take action from a state of inspiration. So in a nutshell, that is sort of like the start of me really embarking on this journey. And now I'm playing with way bigger numbers than this amount. But yeah, that's how it began.
Okay, I'll share something that happened a few days ago while we were having a conversation about this webinar, and you said that you charge 5,000 euros for 2 months of coaching, and I said, ooh, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
So, and you mentioned, okay, so Sinika, because you had that reaction, this is why you were not charging that much for your coaching. And do you think that Slovenians in general, like that we have a certain, let's say inherited beliefs about money, or is there something that you find it different in Slovenia than in other countries where you traveled?
Yeah. It's a great question. So I think that there are definitely some limiting beliefs in Slovenia. But without speaking so much specifically about Slovenia, I just want to say there are a lot of limiting beliefs in general. I do think it's true that, and by the way, I have clients in Slovenia too. And I also have very, very rich friends in Slovenia. So there's definitely plenty of money here. But, it's not just in Slovenia, but we all grew up with these limiting beliefs. I didn't pop out of the womb thinking, oh, cool, 5,000 euros, I can charge that, no worries. Like I had to overcome a lot of stuff myself, and also in the Netherlands, and also in other, maybe countries that might have in general a higher income level than Slovenia. There are women there with limiting beliefs. And I think that really comes down to a couple of things. We are taught, and this is kind of generalizing, but we are taught not to really believe in ourselves. We're taught not to really show ourselves. We're taught that when you dare to ask for a lot of money, it makes you a bad person. We're taught things like, just make sure you have enough. Just make sure you have enough so that you can just live and you can do your thing. Why would you have any more than that? Like that would make you sort of like a bad person. So there's so much judgment that's embedded in our society. And then also specifically towards women. Although a lot of men are also experiencing these limiting beliefs, but I would say specifically towards women, there's a lot of judgment. And, I had to work really hard to overcome that myself. Now I am at a point where I am starting to earn more than some of my family members, for instance, and some of them have really prestigious jobs. And a part of me is like, oh shit, will they stay like me when I'm going to be earning more? So there is a sense of identification with a certain way of being. And that might also be a little bit stronger in Slovenia. One of the things that's different here, for instance, in the Netherlands, you have really a culture that is created to help people be successful entrepreneurs. Like there's a lot of entrepreneurship. Slovenia, it's not that supportive. So that's definitely true. There is, in that sense, less support, and I would say there's less of an open mindset than perhaps in some other like Western European countries. However, it's still very much possible here. And there's a couple of things that we really have to do in order to feel confident charging money and to really take away this bad feeling about money, which is really what we need if we want to fully show up. And before I share some of those things with you, I have a really bold statement that I would like to make. And that is, if we are not fully comfortable receiving money, we can never fully be comfortable giving our services to the fullest. We all know the story of the overworked female entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Totally stressed out.
Yeah, the belief that you have to work hard or that you have to suffer for money, right?
Yeah.
Or, you know, other negative beliefs like you don't dare to charge a lot, or like things that you think you should earn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it comes from that we have a feeling we're not worthy.
Exactly.
Or worthy enough.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. So that is the number one key we need to work on. And it's really about, this is really about owning our value. It's about starting to understand that the work we do is powerful and the work we do is important. And it's also really about looking at, okay, well, how is your work benefiting someone? And what is that worth? So not so much, okay, I'm spending 5 hours with somebody, and that means this transformation is only worth 5 hours. It's like, okay, well, let's say, for instance, one of my clients, she is a fertility coach. She helps women get pregnant. If somebody has been trying to get pregnant for 5 years, and because she works with this coach, she gets pregnant, how much is that worth? That's worth a lot of money. That's not just worth the amount of time that you put in through those hours. So, and one of the things we also often underestimate is, you know, we often think that we need to like have some kind of crazy, amazing thing. We have to do something like really working really hard for it. But what if some of the knowledge that you have is going to help somebody have a massive transformation in their life? And that is worth so much. So the first thing you want to do is you really want to start believing in your value more. And you really want to start to see that it is powerful and that you are worthy. And that, and with that also comes, you know, the fact that you get to have fun while you're manifesting the money. It actually gets to be fun. You get to make a big difference. You get to reach a lot of people, and you get to make a lot of money. Like all those things come together. So it's owning your worth, it's owning your value, but then it's also really looking differently at money. Why, if we know, and everybody who is watching here, I am 100% sure that you are committed to doing great business, right? Like I know for you, for instance, Nika, you are amazing at what you're doing. It's top notch. You're so in love with your passion.
Yeah. We do events that move, touch, and inspire people. So it's like something I really love doing. Yeah.
Exactly. You put your heart and soul into this. So when you know, and how do people usually react after they've worked with you, after you've done an event with them?
With lots of gratitude, and you know, they're super excited, and like it's just an amazing event usually.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. So do you see that every time you create work, you're actually transforming people's lives by doing it?
Yeah, of course. It's like the whole experience. They get the whole, you know, experiencing. They discover something really new.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So this is really where in your mind, you want to start to realize that you earning more money actually means you're going to transform more people's lives. And either because you're going to charge more, so people are going to be more committed, because, you know, if somebody doesn't pay enough for your services, they're not as committed. Or you might be able to help more people. You might be able to scale your business, and you might be able to reach more people and transform more lives. So really, money when you do ethical business, which is I know everyone is doing here, the more money you manifest, the more you can show up and the more you can make a difference for people. And that's really, for me personally, I have just connected making money to having an awesome time with my clients and doing what I love. And so I never go into an activity in order to make money. It's not like, oh, now I'm going to sell a bunch of packages so that I can make this and this amount. Sure, I think of that too, and it's great and it's exciting, but I have to love the coaching too. I have to love the things I'm doing in my online business. And when you do that and you really feel comfortable receiving, then you can show up on a so much higher level because you're letting yourself be supported. And let's be honest here. Isn't it easier for you to show up fully when you have the kind of food that you really want to eat? When you're really living in a place that you love, when you're able to get the rehabilitation for your leg, in your case, when you're able to travel and let yourself get inspired by going to new places, when you can maybe donate some money or invest some money in beautiful causes that you believe in, when you can set aside some money so that when you're going to be 60, you will actually have some money to live off. So it's really about changing our relationship with money and starting to understand that it is there to support you, that it is a neutral thing, it's not necessarily good or bad, and that you get to use it. And one of the ways that I do that, and one of the ways that I really get into a very comfortable space with money, is I use visualization, like I shared, and I use hypnotherapy. And I really rewire, by doing that, I rewire my relationship with money.
Do you do that like by yourself or with a therapist, or?
I haven't worked with any close therapist on this myself. I have created, I have followed some other people's work, but right now I've also created some of it myself. So I'm actually doing a training right now where I can help people do more of that too. Yeah.
We got a question on Facebook.
Great.
So it says, hello ladies. What about if the client doesn't get the results he or she wants to achieve? So assuming this is through coaching.
Great question. So look, obviously when you're going to be charging money for your services, you always want to do your absolute best to really give the transformation that you promise. However, and I know you're going to be doing that. So you want to make sure that you're prepared. You want to make sure that you've learned for that. However, there's a limit to that. When you're working with somebody, and I always say this to all my clients, I tell them, when you and I work together, I can help you manifest, 5,000 euros per month or 10,000 euros per month, depending where you're at. But I always say, I cannot give you a guarantee because it highly depends on how you're going to show up. So you have to know one thing, and that is, as much as you can do your best for your clients, you can never be responsible for their results. Because if somebody comes in to work with you, they're super inspired, but they're not actually taking the action steps that you're recommending for them, what are you going to do about that?
You cannot make them for them.
Exactly. And so you also want to be really careful there that there's not some kind of codependency going on where you feel like responsible for their results because you feel like you need to work hard in order to make the money. So there has to be a very healthy level of understanding that this is the client who is committing to his or her own journey, and you get to support them on that and do your absolute best with it. But it's not a race of trying to prove something and that's what I say to my clients. I cannot guarantee the results. And, a lot of, and most clients that I work with do get the results, and some of them don't. And that has to do with the way that they're showing up and the way that they are willing to implement the work. So you always need to have that healthy energy where they are taking healthy responsibility for their results. Does that make sense? Of
course, yeah. There's a great metaphor that my friend used a while ago, and he said, you cannot give birth to someone else's baby.
Wow, I love that one. I haven't heard that one yet. That's great.
Yeah, but it's like if you have a project or something that you're working on, you can have a doula or, a nurse or someone helping you, but, you have to give birth to that baby, to that project. You have to deliver it to this world.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and you're just the birth coach.
Exactly. Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. I love that. And that also inspires your client to take ownership of their life. And so you don't want to take on a client that doesn't want to create their own life. If you're going to work with a client and they want you to birth their baby for you, that's not going to happen. So if a client comes to me and I never work with someone until we have a discovery call. So if somebody would come to me and during a discovery session, they would say, you know, things that would make me feel like they're not fully taking ownership of their life, or they would kind of like depend their success on me, I don't work with them. So,
so you are at a point in your life where you get to choose your clients, which is, yeah, exactly.
But you all are.
Yeah. I agree. I totally agree.
But that's the thing. We all are, you know, if you feel like you need to take on clients because there's not enough clients in the world, that is scarcity thinking. There are 7 billion people in this world. 7 billion. There are, I don't know how many people are exactly in Europe, but it's a lot. There's 2 million people in Slovenia. You know, it's not even possible for you not to have enough clients. But this really happens in your mind. You know, one of the things that's really going to block you if you want to, for instance, sell a package or sell an online course, and you're so attached to whether or not somebody is going to say yes or is going to say no, because you believe that otherwise you won't be able to make the money anymore, or you won't find clients, then you are in limited thinking. So that's something that's very important to recognize.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you next if you share like the next step, because you said first like the visualization, but I'm gonna just address the people that are watching. If you have any more questions for Leonie, just, you know, put them in the comments and I'll read them and she can answer, okay? Awesome. So yeah, what's the next step? Like,
okay, well, the next step is really about allowing yourself to be successful. And I'll explain what I mean with that in a moment. A lot of people say they want to be successful, right? Like a lot of people are like, I would want to make €1 million. I really want to be rich, or like, I really want to have X, Y, Z. And I always was one of them. I was like, yeah, totally. And then I made that first €12,873. And guess what happened? I had a panic attack.
You felt guilty?
I don't know if I felt guilty. I just felt like I was in new territory. I was literally like, where am I going to put the money? You know, it's like, does that even fit on my bank account? Because I had never made that much money before.
Yeah.
So, you know, and now there's much more coming in during a launch, but it was just literally like, and are people still going to like me? What if I tell some of my friends? Will they still want to connect with me? So a lot of people say they want to be successful, but when it comes down to it, can you really be comfortable with it? So one of the core things that helped me so much in what I call upgrading my upper limit is firstly understanding what an upper limit is. So an upper limit, which is a term created by Gay Hendricks, he wrote a book about this in like the 90s, and it is basically the upper limit means you have an unconscious inbuilt sort of like thermometer, or let's say like highest level roof that you've allowed yourself to go to. And that's where you kind of feel comfortable. Whenever you expand that, there's like this glass ceiling, and there's this uncomfortable moment where, you know, you're going to bust through that ceiling, but your subconscious mind is so committed to keeping you safe, so it might be pulling you back. So the only real problem that we have to solve is we have to learn how to become more comfortable with money. And one of the best ways to do that is, well, visualization, journaling, and doing mindset work on money every single day. But then also it is literally creating more space to hold money. And might all think that I'm a little bit crazy when I say this, but you want to create space in your body for the money. And you want to not only create space in your body, not literally, but energetic. That'd be weird. A little pocket here, a little pocket there. So no, you want to literally learn to be able to hold higher levels of pleasure, of abundance, of love, and of success. And so there's one mantra that I love, and it goes like this. I expand in abundance, love, and success every day as I inspire others to do the same. So I expand in abundance, love, and success every day as I inspire others to do the same. And so what this does, it really helps you create more space to be more comfortable with money. One of the things that can come up, for instance, is when we start earning more, and also before it, is self-sabotage. That is just your upper limit kicking in and your subconscious mind trying to keep you safe. So you want to learn how to deal with that. So one of the questions that I ask myself every day is, how good am I willing to let my life get? How good am I willing to let my life get? Can I allow myself to be the kind of person that, which is one of my new goals, that earns $1 million per year? Can I let that in? And what is that going to take for me to do that? So then there's where the journaling comes in. Okay, what kind of person do I need to become to feel comfortable with that? What the fuck am I actually going to do with that money? So then I would write that down in detail. Where's that money going to go? So this really is the inner work, and it is really about allowing yourself to have that success. So
actually, what I hear is allowing yourself to expand your ability to receive.
100%. Yeah.
Is that
yeah.
so? Yeah.
That's really what it is. And it is such a funny thing because it is so counterintuitive, because we have just learned that we need to work in order to make stuff happen. Whereas what I see now is the universe is constantly trying to send you money. There is so much money everywhere, even right now in this crisis. And I would love to sort of take it back to that as well. Even right now in this crisis, there are so many opportunities. For instance, Facebook advertisements, 50% off right now, because nobody is using them because everyone's so scared. If you have a little money, invest in Facebook ads, grow your email list, offer a lower price point offer perhaps that you're setting up through Facebook ads. That's a massive opportunity. Investing, amazing opportunity. And not only that, people are in fear right now. People are scared. What can you do to help them? What is it that your offer can support them with? So it's really about having this mindset shift rather than this situation is a problem and now that's a reason that I can't earn more. It's this situation is an opportunity and this is going to help me make even more money. In the week after the quarantine was announced in Germany and the Netherlands, which is where most of my clients are based, I made the most money in 1 week that I've ever made in my business. And it was because I used what was happened as an extra reason for people to work with me. So instead of saying, oh, nobody has money now, which is not true, because people do have money. Most people are supported. Most people have a little cushion. There's people who may have some money on the side. They may have savings. People still have money. It's not like the economy has been down for like 3 years. People still have money. So, and I would really see, okay, most people are at home right now. Finally, they have time to work with me. So that's what I would say. I would say, look, this is your opportunity. You've got time right now. Basically, time is frozen. How are you going to use it? So you really want to reframe and be open for the possibility that this can actually make you a lot more money, not less. So am I explaining that, or is it kind of vague? Tell me.
No. For me, it totally lands with me. And we have another comment.
Great.
Question. So can you please tell more about journaling? I think it's needed to do it every day. So each day you write different things. And what are those things?
Okay, great. Well, here's my secret journal. I have journals all the time. if anyone has a nice link for amazing, pretty journals, do send it to me because I'm always looking for nice places to buy them. I journal a lot. Like I just started in this yesterday and I've already journaled like 10 pages. So, okay. Well, some of the questions that I always work with is, first of all, I start with, if everything were possible, what would I want? So if everything were possible, what would I want? Why do I ask that question? Because everything is possible. So, and it really allows you to expand and to go beyond what you think is available for you. So if everything were possible, what would I want? Then you can write out whatever goal is that. Maybe it's a monetary goal, you know, maybe it's like, okay, I want to earn 10,000 euros within the next 3 months. Maybe it's, I want to earn 100,000 euros within the next 3 months. So this is where you want to find a goal that both excites you and it feels like it's kind of doable. So it has to be a stretch. And at the same time, it's not going to put you in crazy, crazy land. So that's up to you to decide that for yourself. So if everything were possible, what would I want? By the way, for all of you, I have an incredible guided meditation and visualization that I created for this, where you really tap into that limitless vision. It's called my Dream Vision Meditation. More than 8,000 women have downloaded this meditation. So if you go to leoniegabriella.com, I think Nika has the link.
Yeah, we're going to post the link.
Vision. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a very powerful guided visualization, which also helps you tune into that question. If everything were possible, what would I want?
Let me just repeat the link. So leoniegabriella.com/dreamvision.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, great. Okay.
Awesome.
Continue telling about journaling.
Yes. So then after you wrote that down, you asked yourself, okay, how would me manifesting? So after you've gotten clear on the what, you're going to go into the why. Actually, and I write all of this out for myself every time I do a project. And right now I'm going from Q1 to Q2. So I'm just writing on my new goal, which is very exciting for this quarter. So I always journal on this, and then I put my journaling answers on the wall. So, okay, after you got clear on the what, you're going to get clear on the why. And you're going to ask yourself, how will me manifesting this vision influence my life? So how will me manifesting this vision influence my life? And you want to go really deep there. So how is it going to influence your health? How is it going to influence your relationship? How is it going to influence your joy levels? And what are some of the fun things that you would like to do with, for instance, this money goal? And what would then become possible? So let me see. I'm just going to open a document here that I use as well, where I have some of these questions. Let me see. There we go. Okay, cool. So after you got clear on the what, you want to go really, really deep on your why. And how is this going to influence you on all levels? So you can also think about, like, how is this going to influence me mentally? How is this going to influence me emotionally, physically, financially? What is going to change for you? So by doing that and by really digging into that, you are already kind of getting used to this reality as if it actually manifested. So you're starting to really lift up the curtain of like, oh, what would that actually be like? And you're starting to paint a picture of that. And, you know, for the mind doesn't go the mind goes to places that it's comfortable with. So when you are comfortable with your vision already having manifested in your head, that's when it's actually going to be so much easier for you to manifest it. So you're going to dig deep into the why. And you're also going to think about, in case you're running a business, how is you manifesting this vision going to influence your customers? So how is this going to influence your customers? Because, you know, what does it mean when you step up in your business? It means you can be more of service. It means you can show up more for your clients. It means you can be a better person in the world, and you can give them an even greater transformation. Maybe that is because you're just going to feel a lot less stress because you'll have more time to be with them. Maybe that is because finally you're going to create that online program, which you can automate, which is going to serve so much more people. Maybe you'll actually be able to help people have more amazing life-changing events. And for you, Nika, maybe it's going to change like the whole landscape of the way people do events and business in Slovenia. So that's where you really want to go deep, and you start to understand that you going for your dream doesn't only benefit you, it benefits so many other people as well.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's really what you want to start to understand on a deep level, because I just said it, but I want to touch upon that again. You manifesting your vision is never to the detriment of others. You manifesting your vision, when you do it from an ethical space, which I know all of you are doing, will only benefit humanity. So in a way, it's kind of egoistic for you not to go for your dreams.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. So that's really the mindset shifts. And then when you start to fall in love with your desires, why do you think the universe puts a desire in your heart? That might sound really weird and woo-woo and spiritual, but why do you think you desire something? There's nothing wrong with your desire if it's a pure desire. If it is like, I just want to get all the money in the world and sorry if I freaked you out with that face, but if that's your vibe, then obviously it's also not going to work for you. It's not going to be satisfying. If it is something that genuinely brings you joy, then please do go for that. And it is going to be of benefit to everyone on this planet when you are going to be earning more than enough. And one side note, by the way, in case anyone is worried, but isn't there a limited amount of money in this world? No, that's actually not true. There's actually enough money in this world for every person to be a millionaire. Did you know that? There's enough money in this world for everyone to be a millionaire. So until you are a millionaire, you don't have to feel guilty.
Okay. So you journal like every day, and you write those questions, the answers to those questions down. Yeah? Did I get it correct?
So I don't journal every day. I do a mix of different things in the morning. So I usually do at least one or two of these things. So in the morning, I have a morning ritual. Actually, that's my secret. I have a morning ritual, and I do that every single morning. And in my morning ritual, first I move my body. So I get connected to my body and I get out of my head. And actually, I'm going to create a free download for this. Everybody who signs up for my free visualization will also get a free morning ritual sheet. I'm going to create that. So first, yes, it's really powerful. So first I move, then I meditate. And sometimes I do one of my own guided meditations, like that dream vision meditation, but I also use apps like Headspace or Calm, just to calm down my mind. Then I will pretty much always, I will visualize. And this I do again, maybe through one of my own recordings, maybe I'll use it from someone else, or I just do it on my own. I just literally lay down, I close my eyes, and I start thinking about my goals and my desires, and I just start imagining it already there. I start smelling me eating the delicious food that I'm eating when I'm going for dinner with friends, when I'm celebrating my money goal. And so visualization, journaling, reading. I do at least one or two of those. Yeah.
So how frequently should we visualize?
Every morning.
Every morning. Okay. And we have one more question regarding visualizations.
Yeah.
So can we do visualizations for different things in one day or week, or should we focus only on one thing first, wait until it manifests, and then focus on the next one?
Great question. I always focus on just one thing. Creative women especially have an addiction to scattering their energy to multiple things and being really excited about a bunch of different things. I choose one core goal, maybe two, per 3 months. So every 3 months, I decide on something that I want to manifest. And that's where all my focus goes for 3 months. Then I take 2 weeks off approximately, and then I start again. So, but can you visualize more things? Of course you can visualize more things. Like you can visualize your whole life. You can visualize also your love relationship. My boyfriend Clement has an amazing visualization for love relationships. I think you have the link, clementthomas.com. It's really powerful. It's specifically for love relationships. I'll send it later. We can put it in the chat.
Yeah.
And so you can visualize like your whole dream life every morning. You don't have to only think about like your money goal. No, think about everything around that as well. But personally, I do like to choose one core thing to focus on manifesting and to put all my energy towards for a certain period, because I just feel more relaxed when I do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it really, you know, and you know, I can know that when you talk about like all of this like cool stuff, like the journaling and visualizing and all of that, it can sound like, okay, well, that's all great, but is this also going to give me practical, tangible results? And as long as you follow these steps and you do these things in the morning and you take your inspired action and you just stay open, recognize when limiting beliefs come up, recognize when you start thinking, oh no, it's a crisis, nobody has money now, which is just not true, and then turn it around. There is always a group of people that thrives within periods of crisis. Always. I have a lot of friends and colleagues that are still making incredible money, and they are all over different types of industries. Now, I know I might be lucky because I have a mostly online-based business, so that definitely gives me huge benefits. And I just know, and I so deeply believe that everything is possible, and that everything, like, that if this is happening right now and you decide to look at it as an opportunity rather than as a challenge, well, I guess as a healthy challenge, and just flip it around, which is what you're doing now as well, Nika.
Yeah.
Like you're taking stuff online.
Yeah.
And it's asking yourself the question, how can this be the best thing that ever happened to me? How can this be the best thing that ever happened to me? And just focusing on that question, because everything always happens for you, not to you. That is something I deeply, deeply believe.
One last question I have for you before we sum it up.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's sort of a comment, but I think that being grateful, that's also like a huge part. You know, being grateful for everything you already have, not
Yes.
you know, to focus on the lack of things, but to focus on what you already have in your life, and that's 100%. Like really real abundance, right?
Absolutely. Because if you don't do that, then you're going to have €1 million and you're still going to be unsatisfied.
Yeah.
So your happiness should not depend on the amount of money you're earning or not, even though that's easy to say. And I totally get how challenging this period is for people who are running restaurants and the revenue is gone. That mindset, though, is what's going to take you through everything. I do want to add a little caveat. It's like gratitude, really, it is the most important thing, and I agree. I just want to make sure, and I sometimes see my clients do this when we just start working. They're like, oh, I'm so grateful, I don't need anything else.
So you close yourself up, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, this is amazing, and I'm so excited about everything else that's coming. Yeah,
that's really important. Yeah. So I wanna thank firstly Sanela, who had lots of questions for us. That's the link that I got. Yeah. But before we close down, like, what's that giveaway message? What do you think? Can you sum up? Because you said so much beautiful things. I think you made it like really practical for us. What can we do? Yeah. For us to shift our minds. Yeah. How to start working if you don't have a coach. How can you start working for yourself, right? And you also gave us like the link where we can download your guided meditation. Yes. Yeah, but what would be like, how would you sum it up? Okay. So the secret is in your head. Okay, I'm kind of gonna make a little bit of a messy overview.
for those of you who don't have a coach and you do want to get the support, do sign up for that meditation, because after you do that, you automatically get on my email list. And in the next month, I will be sharing a weekly video with much more content about this that's going to help you really implement it. So
and I recommend it. I do recommend it because I love your videos. So
awesome. Great. Great. I didn't know you were on my list. Great. So then really the power is in your mind, and it is how you look at what is happening right now that's going to make all the difference for you. So keep on asking yourself, how can this be the best thing that ever happened to me? How can this be the best thing that ever happened to me? Realizing that everything is happening for you, not to you. So everything is happening for you, not to you. Remember that you are worthy and that your desires are there for a reason. Start working on your money mindset. So sign up for my list because I'm sharing a lot more about this. We're doing a money flow challenge again soon. Really work on your money mindset. Do your morning ritual. Take action from an aligned space. And don't be like everyone else right now. Everyone is in fear. They're watching the news and then they're reading conspiracy theories on Facebook. Who else is guilty? Switch it off, switch off the fear-based stuff. Get into a space of trust. Get into a space of gratitude. Do your morning ritual every morning. Read uplifting books that inspire you. Only follow people that lift you up. And really take time to cultivate that positive, high vibrational mindset for yourself, and know that this is the chance for you to practice the law of attraction. This is the chance for you to practice your meditation. This is the chance for you to really show up as the person you are meant to be. And there is no reason for you not to come through this on the other end and be thriving even more. By the way, I want to share one more thing. Did you know, Nika, that 60% of the Fortune 500 companies, which is the 500 most successful companies in the world, were all created in the 2008 crisis?
No, I didn't know that.
60% of the most successful companies in the world right now were created during the 2008 crisis. So during a crisis, there's always elevated possibility, elevated opportunities. And you really want to get yourself in the mind space to enjoy that and to have fun and to make the most out of this experience. So that is my recap. Is there anything that I missed?
No, I think you put it lovely. Yeah.
Awesome.
So
Great.
I really enjoyed having you here today.
Great, me too.
It was like, even for me, it was like really of big value. So I really want to thank you for taking the time and for sharing with us, because I know that this is part of your coaching.
Yes.
And thank you for sharing it with us and, the people that watch this. So I'm really grateful for that.
Awesome. It's my pleasure. Well, there's a lot more of me in Slovenia coming because I'm going to be speaking all over Slovenia by the end of this year.
Oh, that's one of your goals?
Yeah, not until, I won't start, I'm kind of busy until October-ish, but I'm planning to start speaking here by the end of this year and the beginning of next year. Awesome. I mean, I won't be able to do it before then anyway, because everything is going to be closed, but yeah.
But no, I would love to hear more from you. That's really lovely.
Yeah. You and I are going to talk about that. We may do some things together.
Yes, of course. I would love that. So if anyone that's going to watch this video later is going to have a question about it, like, we're going to send it to Leonie as well. So she might also answer you later. Is that okay, Leonie? Yeah,
absolutely. And do sign up for the meditation, because then you will receive emails from me. And when you reply to those emails, I will read it as well. And I may address your question in one of my videos or one of my online trainings.
Thank you again so much. Have a great evening, you guys, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Ciao.